The old apartment building stood at the edge of the city, weathered and forgotten. Its "For Rent" sign swayed in the wind, creaking ominously. Daniel, a young man desperate for affordable housing, approached the building with a sense of reluctant hope. The rent was suspiciously cheap, but he brushed aside any doubts. Inside, the apartment was dimly lit with peeling wallpaper and a single flickering bulb overhead. As he set down a box, a faint knocking echoed through the walls. He paused, listening intently, before shaking his head and continuing to unpack. That evening, as Daniel arranged his kitchen, the apartment seemed to groan with age. The pipes creaked and moaned, and then, just barely audible, a whisper floated through the air. "Get out." He froze, his heart pounding, but after a moment dismissed it as his imagination. Chuckling nervously, he muttered, "Great, a haunted apartment, just what I need." As he turned back to his task, a shadow in the corner shifted, so faint it was almost imperceptible. Later that night, Daniel lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. The moonlight streaming through the window cast eerie patterns on the walls. His phone buzzed on the nightstand, startling him. Groggily, he picked it up and saw a notification. One missed call from unknown. Confused, he opened his call log and froze. The missed call was dated for the next day. His breath quickened and his skin crawled. Suddenly, a loud, deliberate knocking came from his closet. Swallowing his fear, he grabbed a flashlight and crept toward the door. When he swung it open, the beam of light revealed deep claw marks gouged into the back wall of the closet. Unable to sleep, Daniel sat in the living room clutching a baseball bat. The apartment was silent now, oppressively so. Without warning, the lights went out, plunging him into darkness. He fumbled for his flashlight and clicked it on, sweeping the beam across the room. In the corner, a shadowy figure stood still, its face obscured by darkness. Daniel gasped, dropping the flashlight. The room went black for a moment, and when he picked the flashlight back up, the figure was gone. Then a voice filled the room, cold and venomous. "You should have left." By morning, the building was wrapped in police tape, and neighbors gathered to watch as officers carried out their investigation. 2 officers stood outside, their voices low. The first officer hesitated, his voice dropping even lower. He just kept repeating, "It wasn't just me." The camera pans to the apartment's window, where a faint shadow moves behind the curtain. The screen cuts to black as the sound of a low, guttural whisper fades into silence.